By immediately grabbing space in the center, white now has control of the central dark squares. The Indian games are a collection of openings defined by this move, gaining indirect control of the center with a flank pawn. The king's Indian defense prepares to develop the bishop, allowing white to build up a strong center, which black will later try to undermine. White prepares to advance another pawn to the center. Black puts the bishop on the long diagonal in a move called a fianchetto. White takes full control of the center. Black controls the central dark squares and allows the light-squared bishop to develop. Bishop e2 develops the light-squared bishop and prepares to castle kingside. Castling gets the king out of the center and activates the rook. Knight f3 develops the knight, defends the d4 pawn, controls the e5 square, and prepares to castle. e5 takes space in the center and immediately attacks the d4 pawn. d5 takes space in the center and controls the important e6 and c6 squares. Knight bd7 develops the knight and prepares knight c5. Moving from its starting spot, the bishop gets involved in the game. The bishop is kicked by a pawn and must now move or be captured. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. The better move was to kick a bishop. Right on target. This activates the queen by developing it off of its starting square. Castling to the same side of the board is a more cautious approach. The game was close to balanced, but now black is worse. Very precise. This mobilizes the knight, allowing it to control more of the board. This is the strongest option. This strikes at the center to fight for space. White's bishop has moved to a square with greater activity and control. One of the best moves. This misses a better way to develop further. This allows the knight to control more squares. A strong pawn push that confronts the center directly. The best option was to kick off a pawn storm. The better move was to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. The game was close to equal, but now white has the advantage. This loses a pawn. Right on target. A straightforward recapture. A clear recapture. The best option was to recapture a piece. This leads to losing a pawn. This move steps the pawn out of danger and keeps material balance. This threatens to checkmate the king. This allows the opponent to win material through an eventual discovered attack. This loses a knight. This misses an opportunity to win material through an eventual discovered attack. This creates an isolated pawn. This threatens to capture a bishop and win material after the follow-up trades. The better move was to add a defender to a vulnerable bishop. This threatens to checkmate the king. This prevents the opponent from being able to checkmate the king. This is the only good move. This maintains the balance in material with a good trade. This is an equal trade. After all captures, this is an equal trade. This is the only move that works. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. This permits the opponent to pin a defender of a pawn. This creates a threat against a pawn by pinning one of its defenders. The better move was to unpin a rook, allowing it to provide defense. This threatens to kick a queen. The bishop now occupies a secure outpost. The rooks are coordinated and powerfully doubled on the file. Very strong play. The best option was to centralize a knight so it controls more squares. This permits the opponent to move a rook to a more active position. The piece finds a new active square. This is a fair move. That's an unfortunate error. This is the only move that works. This doubles the rooks on a file, which allows them to team up to create threats. This threatens to sacrifice a queen for a nice tactic. This allows the opponent to win material through an eventual fork. White can win material through a fork with the right follow-up from here. This loses a queen. Capturing while sacrificing the rook was the right idea. A clear recapture. This is the only good move. This wins time by threatening a piece and forcing it to move away. This steps away from the checking knight. This is the only move that works. This blocks the check from an opposing queen. This captures a rook and eliminates a threat. This frees a rook to defend another piece. This protects the attacked knight. This removes a pawn that was threatening to win material. This move steps the queen out of danger and keeps material balance.